Welcome to Life, Finance, and Real Estate, where we discuss how to make smart money moves, the ever changing real estate market, and of course, things going on in life. And here to talk about it more with you is your host, Kirby the Realtor.
Stayed down, came up. God made a way. Stayed down, came up. God made a way. Stayed down, came up. God made a way. Let me tell you about it. You can sit and wait around. You can make it happen. I've been walking in the spirit. Ain't no way around it. And it's up. Yeah. And it's up. Yeah. Pedal to the metal, headed to the top. Swerving around the block, this be getting hot. It's so hot. The holy got a purpose, I can't ever stop. I got Lamborghini, mercy on me. I'm outside with the cool. Look at that, deja vu. Not with the trap, but I'm still on the move. Holy got the Holy Ghost, I'm jumping through the roof. I was down, but I stayed down, came up. God made a way. Stayed down, came up. God made a way. Stayed down, came up. God made a way. Let me tell you about it. You can sit and wait around. You can make it happen. I've been walking in the spirit.
Hey family, welcome back to Life, Finance, and Real Estate with your girl, Kirby the Realtor. Happy New Year. Today is the first day of January, the first day of 2026. It's a new year, it's a clean page, and for many people, it is a moment of reflection. So, wherever you're listening from today, whether you're driving, working, sitting quietly, or just needing a moment to think, I want you present for this conversation because today is not about me just giving you information. Today is about alignment. And before we dive into today's message, I want to take a moment and honor the journey we've been on. The last 2 weeks, we've been building to this moment. In episode 1, we talked about mindset, the lens you look through that determines everything. You don't see life as it is, you see life as you are. See, mindset determines how you interpret obstacles, money, opportunity, even people. See, I was speaking with one of my mentors, and they shared a story with me about a traveler who passed through a town. Nope, I'm sorry. That traveler lived in a town. And the traveler went into, this store that day, and I think he just got fed up, but the people were just being rude. They weren't speaking. And it just made him kind of recap the years he stayed there. He's just like, people are just not friendly. So he was like, I'm gonna leave. I'm gonna pack my family up and we're gone. So he packed his family up and he started on the journey and he got to a crossroad and he could only go left and he could only go right. And there was a guy on the side of the road and the guy was looking like, where y'all going? And the traveler says, well, we're trying to find somewhere else to live. And I don't know if I want to go left or right. And he's like, but why? Where are you going? And the traveler was like, well, people here are just rude and they this and they that. And I'm just tired. And I want to go. And the guy on the side of the road had this little smirk on his face. And the traveler was just looking at his family very confused, like, what's the issue here? And the guy looked at him and said, you can go left and you can go right. And guess what? It's going to be the same. So it don't matter because it's not about where you're going. It's the attitude you take with you. Y'all, that is life. That's business. That's relationships. Your circumstances doesn't have the final say. Your mindset does. And when everything feels heavy, uncertain, or unfair, just remember mindset is everything. You don't have to pretend. You don't have to be in denial. But choosing faith over fear and ownership over excuses, because the lens you choose determines what you build and how you love and how you rise. In episode 2, we move from mindset to ownership. We begin to talk about how hoping and wishing is not a strategy. And a lot of us say we want more, but we stay stuck in the waiting mode, hoping someone comes to fix it and saves us and hands us whatever we need. But ownership is a decision. It requires clarity, action, and discipline. You can't wish for wealth and be scared to check your credit. You can't dream for home ownership and never talk to a lender. You can't want healing but defend your brokenness. Ownership isn't just about owning something tangible, it's about peace, your purpose, your legacy. And today we're going to talk about a word that I was very hesitant to say out loud. I was hesitant to type it. See, every year I choose one word. And I was having a conversation with someone and they said, "What's your word this year for 2026?" And with hesitation, I typed the word. And y'all, my word was authority. I said authority, and I said authority because in this season, we have to remember that mindset is the lens, ownership is decision, but authority is how you walk it out. Let's talk about it. And before you tense up, before you think that this is about arrogance, ego, and or being forceful, let me be very clear with you. See, authority is not about being loud. It's not about being rushed. And what do you mean, Kirby, when you say rush? That's a great question. This is one of those phrases that sounds so simple, but it's loaded. When I say authority isn't rushed, I'm saying that authority doesn't come from speed. It comes from alignment because rushing is usually driven by fear. Fear of being left behind, fear of not being seen, fear of missing the moment. Authority moves different. Authority takes time to understand before it decides. It doesn't panic when the other people around are being loud. It doesn't perform for approval. It doesn't chase validation. Authority is calm because it's rooted. It knows whose it is. It knows what it carries and it knows when to move. See, when you rush, you often borrow momentum that doesn't belong to you. And if I can be real with you guys, when I opened my brokerage, I had so much I wanted to do. I wrote down so much, I shared so much, and there was just so much I wanted to do. And I had I heard other people say that what they were going to do, and I rushed to make decisions because I was like, okay, I got to do it, I got to do it, I got to do this, I got to do that, and then things just didn't work out right. It didn't last, and that's what it means when it says you borrow momentum. See, when you walk in authority, you move in timing, in God's timing. It's not pressure. Authority listens first. It gathers the facts, it counts the cost, it prays, it plans, and then it executes without apology. The Bible tells you be slow to speak, but quick to listen. So that's what I mean when I say authority listens first. That's why authority looks steady. It's not frantic, it's confident. It's not chaotic, it's intentional, it's not impulsive. And this matters in your life. It matters in finances. It absolutely matters in real estate. Listen, rush decision can cost you peace. Rush decision can cost you money. Rush decisions can cost you credibility. Authority understands this. If it's yours, it doesn't have to be heard. There's a song that says, "What God has for me, it is for me. What God has for me, it is for me." That song is so true because when God has something for you, it's for you. You don't have to be in a hurry. And when I say that now, I'm not giving you permission to procrastinate. But what I'm saying is you don't have to do things hurriedly. You have to plan. Ask yourself this. Am I moving because I'm led or because I feel pressured to keep up? Because authority doesn't sprint to prove itself, it moves on time. Authority does not need to explain itself, it moves because it knows. Authority. See, this episode is not to make you feel comfortable and all warm. This episode is to make you snap out of it. It's here to make you honest because we live in a time where people are confusing waiting with wisdom, with delay, with discernment. But there's a difference between being patient and stagnant. Some of us have been praying for clarity when the truth is we already know what to do. And you know you do. You know what to do, but you just have not trusted yourself enough to do it. You sitting there asking God over and over for the same old thing, and he tired of you coming asking for the same old thing when he done gave you the answer. Authority begins when you stop pretending you don't know. Truth be told, be honest with yourself. You know. You already know. And this applies in life. It applies in your finances. And yes, it applies in real estate. Ownership is not a feeling, it's a decision. And decisions require follow through. A new year doesn't automatically create a new life. A new year. We're in 2026. It doesn't create a new life. Ownership does. Once you decide to own your life, you also have to own your patterns. Let me ask you something honestly. What are you still tolerating that no longer fits the version of yourself you say you're becoming? Is it certain relationships? Is it certain habits? Is it procrastination dressed up with patience? Is it fear you've learned how to manage instead of confront? See, ownership requires responsibility. You cannot own your future while you're avoiding your present. And this isn't about guilt, it's about awareness. If your life looks the same year after year, it's usually not because you're incapable, it's because your choices haven't changed. If year after year you're in the same place you were last year, there's a problem. And your choices haven't changed. Discipline is not punishment. When you learn discipline and learn to take control of finances or learn to take control over your life, that's not punishment. Discipline is self-respect. You're saying to yourself, I respect myself enough to do this. And ownership asks simple questions. What needs to change about how I show up in my life? Write that question down and look in the mirror when you do it. Ask yourself, what needs to be changed about how I show up in my life? See, in life, authority looks like this. Authority in life means you stop outsourcing your decision to people's opinions. Stop polling people who are not responsible for the outcome. Stop going to everybody saying, what do you think I should do? Sometimes we base our decision on what people think, and that does not make sense when they are not responsible for the results. I am guilty of it. Y'all know I'm going to be honest about it. I'm guilty of it. Authority is about choosing peace without permission. It is setting boundaries without guilt. And sometimes you have to be selfish in your thought process and stop feeling guilty. Stop over explaining. Authority is walking away without over explaining. And some of you are tired, not because life is hard, but because you keep second guessing yourself. I'm going to give you an example. There are times in the past where I would plan things out and I'll have it all out. I done prayed about it. And I done got advice from a few people so I can, get the critiques and fix things. And I already know that it's in line. But then guess what I do? I send it out to about 10 more different people. And then I get all this feedback. And then I'm trying to redo and da 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 da. And I'm making myself tired because I didn't trust my own discernment. And I'm not saying you not to seek counseling. I'm not saying that or counsel. What I'm saying is stop ignoring what you already know. You don't need those 10, 15 other confirmations you've already received the instructions. Trust your research, trust the process, and stop letting everybody's opinions drown out what you already know. Now, how does authority work when it comes to finance? Let's talk about it. Because authority gets tested here really fast, like really fast. Financial authority does not mean you have the most, it means you are honest about what you have and intentional about what you want. Now, I'm going to slow it down a little bit here because I need you to ask yourself this question. I asked it yesterday on Facebook Live. I said, what do you really want financially? Not what sounds responsible, not what looks good to other people, not what you think is a lot you're allowed to want, but what do you actually want? Dream a little bit. You know, Tuesday, my twins and their friends got together, and I was like, we're going to do vision boards. And they were so pumped and excited. But when I started explaining, I made them write things down. I said, dream a little bit. Think about things you want. Think about things you feel like you can't get right now, but you know eventually you're going to get it. And I challenge you to do that. Think about things you want. Put it on your vision board. Put it in your journal. Put it on your prayer board. Put it on your goal list because authority breaks down when your actions do not match your answers. You cannot say you want freedom, but you keep avoiding numbers. There's a sheet that I emailed out to several people that called and emailed me about that sheet. and it was called a what I spend sheet. That sheet I told you I dreaded, that my financial advisor made me fill out, that I looked at for 3, 4, maybe 6 months probably, that I was afraid of, and I didn't fill it out. I didn't want to know how much. Well, I ain't gonna say I didn't want to know, but I was scared to see how much was really coming in my house and going out. But once you see the truth, you cannot unsee it. You cannot say you want stability, but you refuse to change your habits. You cannot say you want ownership while staying comfortable with confusion. See, authority means you stop being reactive with money. Stop spending emotionally. Stop ignoring those statements you get in the mirror and calling it peace because it's over there in the corner. Authority says, I face it now. I'm going to open up them statements. Yeah, I'm in a negative, but here's why. I did this. I did that. Money responds to clarity, and clarity starts with the truth. Just like when you look in the mirror and you know you're 5 or 10 pounds overweight, and you know you overeat, you know you're not exercising. The clarity is in that you begin to change your habits, and the results will change. You stop eating a lot. You stop eating late. You get up, you move, you exercise, you walk, you do whatever you need to do. That's clarity. And that's the same way it works in money, life, real estate. It ain't going to happen overnight. I told you in the previous episode, if it was something you wanted to do, if you wanted to buy something, if you wanted to learn to invest or do stocks or whatever, take 6 months to a year. Prepare. Create the foundation. But at least you know where you are. It's like a GPS system. You finally have a starting point and you know where you're going. Now let's talk about real estate. How authority looks in real estate. Authority in real estate starts in the mind before it ever shows up on paper. And some people are not blocked by credit, they are blocked by confidence. They decided they cannot buy before they even ask one question. They decide they're not ready without even getting informed. Authority says, let me learn before I limit myself. That's something else I teach my boys. We're not going to make excuses. Learn first. If you want to learn how to do something, when they tell me they're expiring to be this or they want to do that, I'm like, okay, so what you gonna do about it? Get a book. Do you want mommy to buy a book? Sometimes I order books for them, and I make them read. Pull it up on YouTube. Authority says, "Let me learn before I limit myself." So whether you're buying, whether you're selling, investing, building, authority looks like this. You have to ask the questions. You gotta get educated. You need to stop assuming the answer is no. And for my entrepreneurs and my professionals that are listening, authority also means ownership beyond something tangible. Owning your business structure, owning your financial systems, owning your growth plan, owning your life. You can't build a legacy and avoid responsibility. That means looking at your bank account, audit your spending, acknowledge the habits, stopping the denial. Authority is looking in that mirror and saying, I need to fix this. It is not going to fix itself. I need to fix this. It is not going to fix itself. So when you have authority, there's clarity. You're walking in confidence. So let's shift a little bit here. Last week we moved from hoping and wishing to ownership. And see, hoping sounds spiritual, and it's fine because it's okay to hope. But it's not a strategy. Ownership is practical. Wishing feels safe, but it's not a strategy. Ownership requires action. To me, authority is the bridge between desire and decision. And some of us have outgrown our excuses. When we say some of us, when I say some of us have outgrown our excuses, what am I saying? I'm saying this. There are times when the excuses protected you. It made sense then. It gave you room to heal. It gave you room to learn, to survive, and to get your footing. But growth changes the rules. At a certain point, the excuse that once explained where you were starts to limit where you're going. You're not stuck anymore. You're not unaware anymore. You're not unqualified anymore. Now you know better. You see clear. You've been given access, information, and responsibility. And once awareness shows up, excuses loses their authority. Outgrowing your excuses doesn't mean you never struggle. It means your struggle is no longer an explanation for where you're still at. It's not an explanation for stagnation. It's that moment when God, life, experience, wisdom, and exposure all have lined up and said, you have what you need now. The delay isn't about resources. It's about the decisions you make. It's not about fear anymore. It's about familiarity. It's not it's not that you can't. It's that you chosen not to. So when you say some of us have outgrown excuses, when I say some of us have outgrown excuses, I'm not being harsh. I'm being honest. Because growth demands ownership, and ownership requires courage. And this applies to life, it applies to finance, and yes, to real estate. Ask yourself this today. What excuses have I used? And I used them and they made sense when I made them, but they don't anymore. What excuse used to make sense, but they don't anymore? Because the moment you outgrow excuse is the moment you step into authority. We cannot keep blaming timing when it's really fear. We cannot keep saying one day when today keeps showing up. Authority does not rush, but it doesn't stall either. I'm not saying take 50 million years to get somewhere. I'm not saying to procrastinate, but I'm saying don't rush. Authority doesn't rush. Some of you have been talking about buying a house for 5 years, and those 5 years went by. And now the next 5 years don't went by. Before you know it, 20 years have went by, and you're still talking about wanting to buy a house. You're still talking about investing in stock. You're still talking about relocating. You're still talking about learning to do this and learning to do that. This is your moment right now. Ask yourself this question. What am I delaying that I already had clarity about? Not what you're confused about, not what you're waiting on somebody else to do, but what you already know. What do you already know? Because authority does not mean fear disappears. It means fear no longer gets the final vote. Write it down, say it out loud, and decide. I want you to know this. You're not behind. You are not late. You are not disqualified, but you are responsible. RESPONISIBLE. You are responsible for your next step. You're responsible for your mindset. You're responsible for how long you stay stuck. Authority is already available to you, but the question is whether you will walk in it. So before we close, I want to give you some practical to do this week. Your assignment is simple. I want you to pick one thing from today's conversation that stood out to you and take action on it. I want you to write it down. I want you to track it. Pay attention to what comes up when you try to follow through. And if you have questions, if you need clarity, or if anything in what we discussed today stirred something in you, reach out to me. Email me at KirbyTheRealtor@gmail.com. This has been Life, Finance, and Real Estate with your girl, Kirby the Realtor. And remember, ownership starts in the mind first. And until next time, move with clarity, decide with confidence, and walk in authority. Bye for now. See you soon.
Thank you for tuning in to Life, Finance, and Real Estate with Kirby the Realtor. You can catch us every Thursday at 12 p.m. on 92.1 WJMG, 93.1 WGDQ, and also you can listen live at 921WJMG.com or 931WGDQ.com. If you happen to miss the live recording, don't fret, we'll replay it at 6 p.m. tonight. Thank you once again for listening to Life, Finance, and Real Estate.
Straight down, came up. God made a way. Straight down, came up. God made a way. Straight down, came up. God made a way. Let me tell you about it. You can sit and wait around. You can make it happen. I've been walking in the spirit. Ain't no way around it. And it's up. Yeah. And it's up. Yeah. Pedal to the metal, headed to the top. Swerving around the block, this be getting hot. It's so hot. The Holy got a purpose, I can't ever stop. I got Lamborghini, mercy on me. I'm outside with the cool. Look at that, deja vu. Not with the tribe, but I'm still on the move. Only got the